Hello, welcome to the channel, friends. This is just a little update on what's been going on. Have not stitched any cross stitch in the last 6 weeks. I have been super busy scrapbooking with forever.com, company I represent, and Pixels to Pages. We had a huge crop. It's their 14th birthday, and we start the beginning of March, and we do challenges and meet designers for weeks. And then we get to the big weekend in April where we all get together virtually and scrapbook together and work on pages. I went back and I started on 2014, which was a pivotal year for me. That is the year that we gave up our RVing lifestyle and bought a house in order to take care of my 91-year-old dad, who had acute short-term memory loss, and he had been living with my sister and traveling in a motorhome. She was a traveling nurse. But when his acute short-term memory loss started to become an issue, it was apparent that he couldn't be alone any longer while she slept or was at work, and the only logical choice was me and my husband to give up our lifestyle, which we gladly did. It was a hard adjustment for me because I love being on the road, but you do what you have to do. And so that's what we did, and we've been here 10 years now. And look, I have a she shed. Who would have ever thought I would have had a she shed? I have no idea. I never would have thought that. I did get the borders on this lovely quilt. This is a quilt I did with my AccuQuilt. All of the blocks were cut with my AccuQuilt. I added the borders, but I didn't have any backing. While I was at a retreat this past weekend in Asheville, North Carolina, there was a local quilt store that was having 25% off. So, you know, all of us quilters that are also scrapbookers had to go and buy some more fabric. So I bought these luscious flavors to create a backing for this fabric, and I'm sure there'll probably be a little bit left over maybe to make a little something else. I'm really not sure what, but love them all. They're very, very beautiful. I got 2.5 yards of each, so I haven't done any figuring. I don't know if that's enough. I'm assuming that's enough to make a back for this size quilt. And so that's going to be in the works. The other thing is on the Monday, last Monday, I went to our Quilt Guild's workshop, and we are doing a mystery quilt. And I had picked 3 fabrics for that. And I've never done a mystery quilt before. Wasn't really sure what is it going to look like. I'm still not sure what it's going to look like. But our first step was to create half square triangles and then to sew them together. And so here's my half square triangles sewn together. And then we also did a bigger square, and we did a square and a square. So this is going to be related to that. And so we did the square and the square, and we put the half square triangles together. So this is what I'm going to be working on. Yesterday I got all of these cut and ironed and squared up, and I did use the new to me, it's probably been around for a while. Let me grab it over here. Block Lock. Oh my gosh, this thing is so cool. So when your squares are open and you press to the side and you line this lock block up with that seam, it doesn't move. And then this is a 3.5 inch. And so it makes it super easy to cut your squares out. I loved it. It was a $22 purchase on Amazon, excuse me, but well worth it when you had 72 of these to cut out. So I also used my rotary cutting mat for that, which really, really helped. So that was great. And we'll be adding some little videos I did while I was working on this little project. I experimented with making a star for the middle, which didn't work. I was sad to say. But I did come up with a circle that will work, and I've got some videos showing that I'll be adding to this one, along with some pictures from my retreat, and just a little thoughts on my life at the moment. I'm kind of re-evaluating what's most important to get done. I have several friends who are in ill health, and that makes one think when you're 70 years old, how much time do I have left to complete all these projects? If I do one project a year, will I get through my list? No way. So what is most important for me to finish? What cross stitch projects? what quilting projects, how can I, and scrapbooking, how can I prioritize all the things that I want to do, along with working part-time at Chick-fil-A, along with being a wife and a grandmother. How can I prioritize all that and get done what I feel I need to get done while I'm in good health, while I'm able to, while I have the means to. There's no guarantee I'm not going to lose my mind, since my mother died of Alzheimer's and my father had acute short-term memory loss and my older sister has acute short-term memory loss. I have no idea what the future holds, as do none of us. So I want you to think about what projects that you have going on are most important. My scrapbooks are very important to me because I look at it as a way to preserve my memory a little bit longer. If I do lose my memory, I have my scrapbooks to look at and say, this was my life. And I can see myself, I can see my children and my grandchildren and know what we did, even if I don't remember it. So that's very important to me. Making quilts for my loved ones is very important to me because I want to leave something tangible that they can hold on to and say, my grandma, my nana made this for me. You know, my mom made this for me. That kind of thing. So that's important. And my cross stitch, I'm making one for my granddaughter and one for my grandson. I would love to get those done. And the big project that's going to take me years to do, that's the camper, the California Dreaming from Heaven and Earth Design. It's a huge project. But I would love to get that done. That's going to probably take me 10 years, you know. So how can I effectively and efficiently work on all these projects to get done? You have to prioritize, and you have to be realistic, and you have to make time. A lot of people ask me, how do you get everything done? You know, I don't get a lot done. It may seem like I do, but I don't. You know, I can maybe crank out a couple of quilts a year. I always do it. This is a Quilt of Valor quilt, so I try to get that. I got to get this one done. We're okay right now as far as our next distribution, but I always try to have one ready for our November big meeting. This quilt, the mystery quilt, is simply for me or whoever I feel like giving it to. This one is for my guest bedroom. I'd like to get that one done before I have a guest in my guest bedroom. So, you know, you have to think about those things, and you have to make time for those things. Doing YouTube videos takes time. It takes time to edit everything together. I'm not very good at that. There's a lot to learn. I could spend hours editing and trying to teach myself. So I try to keep it real simple, and you know, so that's why my videos aren't up there in par, but someday maybe they will be if I keep doing them. Today I am experimenting, and I am recording on my big girl camera, which is a Canon 70D, instead of my phone. I can upload that directly to my computer instead of going through the cell phone and uploading it here and uploading it there and all of that. So we're going to see how that works out. So those are just some of my thoughts on where my life is right now. I was lucky that I had Monday and Tuesday off when I came back from my retreat, which I left for on Wednesday and got back on Sunday, and had a wonderful time with my Asheville girls who are from the Charlotte, North Carolina, South Carolina area. I've been going there probably 8 or 9 years now. I stepped out on a limb when I was first here, saw that there was a retreat over there, didn't know a soul. It was 2 hours away, and said, hey, I'm going to go to this. It was put on by Pixels to Pages at the time, who was not part of Forever, but has since been bought by Forever, and they are the training arm of Forever for our Artisan 6.0 software. If you're interested in scrapbooking at all, please let me know. Artisan is a awesome software program. It's easy to use. It's user friendly. It's right now $130, I think. Price is going up in June. It's easy to learn, and the Pixels to Pages is a subscription, $16 a month, but well worth it. Everything I know about scrapbooking I have learned from Pixels to Pages, and I continue to learn from them all the time. They have bright ideas every week. They have videos every week. They have blueprints every month that are all free for you to use and download and learn from. So that's definitely a big part of my life. And of course I'm going to sneeze, so please excuse me. I can't edit this out. don't have my remote set up for my camera yet. But yeah, so find out what's most important to you. Find out what your time frame is to do everything. I've done 2 retreats so far, one the 1st of April, one the 1st of May, and I have StitchCon coming up in the middle of June. So I have 6 weeks to finish my gift exchange project, and that should be doable. And I want to get back into my cross stitching every night, where I'm sitting and watching TV with hubby and cross stitching instead of scrapbooking. And so yeah, so think about your life, where you're at in life, how many projects do you have going on, how many more do you need to collect or buy, or do you just need to finish up what you have? That's where I'm at. That's what I need to work on. That's what I need to concentrate on. I need to get a backing for this, get it done so I can get it quilted. I think I might try quilting these blocks on my embroidery machine. And so that will be a new and different experience for me. I always believe everything you do should be a learning experience. Whether it's quilting, scrapbooking, or cross-stitching, you should always be learning something. And I do learn something every time I quilt or cross-stitch or scrapbook, because I'm not perfect at any of them. This is going to be, this is a square right here, and I would put that in the, I would hoop that, and then I would pick a design that fits that size square and quilt it. And then of course you can free motion your borders, and you could do your borders as well. It just all depends on what you want to do. So that's going to be exciting. I did get my other machine back. I have an Expression 3.5. I was sewing on it, my needle wouldn't stay up, and it was stripped out. And when I took it in for repair, it was just a $50 part. By the time they got the part, they said the company has redesigned this particular part, and in order to put it on your machine, we have to exchange the whole needle pole that the needle things ride on, and that $50 part turned into a $250 repair. So it's cheaper than a new machine, since I just bought the new FAF Creative Icon 2. So I'm thankful for that. I'm thankful I had the money to pay for that, but it's nice to have Miss Dora, as I call her, named after my grandmother, back. And I did sew a little bit on her yesterday. It's nice that my sewing machine is, or my sewing room, my she shed is organized. I did all of that while the machines were gone, and everything's clean and I'm ready to go. So let me know in the comments what you think. What are your priorities? What are your projects you have going on? How do you prioritize what you want to work on? Do you just do one hobby, or do you do multiple hobbies like I do? So thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye. I'm practicing a stitch out of a star that I created on my Creative Icon 2 and the Applique Creator, to see if it will fit on the Quilt of Valor quilt square that I'm making. That's a circle and then has a circle in the middle that I need to cover up. And I don't want to just put a circle there, so I'm trying to create the right size star to put on there. So we shall see how this goes. Stay tuned. As you can see, this actually covers up the hole, but it's awful close. I think I need to go just a little bit bigger. So back to the drawing board. What I need to do to create this a little bigger is I need to go back to Embroidery Edit, Edit Design, Scale. Oh, I had to hit the design, Scale. And this tells me this is 3.34 by 3.19. And I grab these little handles, and as I'm moving this, it is going to, let's see if I can get it in this size hoop and make it any bigger. I don't think it's going to let me do it in this size hoop. I think that's as big as So what I need to do is move to a different size hoop. Don't mind the noise. 200 by 200 is my next quilter's hoop. 200 by 200, so let's go to hoop size. Let's go to Creative Quilters, 200 by 200. Now, let's go back to Edit Design, Scale, and let's go a little bit bigger here. This doesn't work, I'll have to go back into Applique Creator and resize it from there. It doesn't seem this is going to go to work, so hold on, I'll be back. Now we're going to go into Applique Creator, Shapes, Basic, Star. Close that out. And now this is Edit Applique, and this is in the size hoop that I have, and it will only be 6.299 by 5.999. So that is the biggest it will go in that hoop. Okay, so let's center it. This is 4 by 3.82. Let's try this one. Edit Design, make sure I'm in the center of the hoop. Go to Stitch Out. I have one, well, it doesn't really matter. One color, thread cutter off. And I will have to put some stabilizer on there. So I'll be back. I have put stabilizer in the hoop. Going to Stitch Out Progress. Shows me how many stitches and how long it's going to take. And like I say, this is just practice, so I'm just using the same brown thread for each step. I'm not cutting my thread. We are just experimenting here to see if this idea of mine will actually even work. So now this design is about wanted to make sure my scrap of fabric I have was going to cover that. This is a built-in design that is entirely on the top Creative Icon 2, probably on the Creative Icon 1 as well. And it does the stitch out, the stitch down, and the actual applique stitches as well. You don't have to design any of that, but you can design anything yourself in Shape Creator. And now when this one's done, I'm going to take the hoop off and trim around this blue fabric, so when it adds the satin stitch, it will cover up the edges. I did not do that in the last one, so it was just an experiment, so I'll be back. As you can see, I have trimmed around that piece of fabric. I have attached my hoop, And now we are going to finish this little applique design out. Through the magic of video, this is the star I have. It definitely covers more of the opening, but do I like where the points end? Can I get those points to all be in the white area? I don't think I can. So that is something to take under consideration. This is going to be gold. It's going to be stitched in gold. So the other option is just to do a circle, which is what the original pattern called for, which is why I'm experimenting. I definitely don't like that the points end up on part of the design. And I actually have done 3 different size stars to get to this point. So going any bigger is not an option. Going smaller is not an option. So going circle is definitely an option. Oh, there's 3 different little size stars. But in order to cover that opening, I could stitch it in red and then maybe it wouldn't matter, except the other designs have, remember we use every other one, so this one has the red in the center and this one has the white in the center. So this one, it's not as noticeable because if you stitch gold, you're just landing on the white as it is. So yeah, we're gonna have to rethink this, but now you know how I find things out. Practice and experiment. I'll be back later. Going to circle. This one's about 3 inches, maybe a little bit more. Listening to YouTube videos while I wait on this to stitch it. And we'll see how this one fits. I think I'm going to like this one a lot better. I'm actually glad I took the time to experiment first. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to like this a lot better. Perfect fit, doesn't distract from the design. Over here, now it looks like this whole thing is bigger, but it's because there's no color. It's all white through here. But yep, I think that's what I'm gonna do now to decide which yellow or gold fabric I'm gonna use.